There's a tsunami coming in on crypto. It could be the thing we've been waiting for. Let's just jump right into it. I do want to thank our sponsor today, and that is Uphold. This is where you can earn better in crypto with staking rewards up to as many as 20 different cryptocurrencies out there. It's very easy to set up an account over there. Additionally, with that, you get new tokens early. This is one of the nice features that I like to use within the Uphold platform. And most of all, go over and get the debit card. And that, of course, is the one that has the most XRP rewards. And you can, of course, do this. It's not a credit card. It's a debit card, no credit check. You guys jump in using our link down below. It does help us out to get going. Check out Uphold. All right, let's get into a lot of topics today. It is a brand new year and a lot happening in the markets already. Some of the things that you have to look at is, of course, the Fed's balance sheet. Let me kind of zoom in on that for you guys. It surged $24.4 billion during the last week of December. This, of course, is posting the biggest jump since March of 2023's banking crisis continuation of more money going into the Fed balance sheet. Are we getting more stealth QE? This is the question that everybody's asking. Look at what's happening right now with crypto fear and greed. This is a good one because it's starting to come off of that bottom where we were, and that was at 10. Guys, remember when we were at 10 on November 22nd? Well, we have climbed up to 34, holding still in the fear position, and this is as of January 2nd when we record this. I think we are in for an early pump in the market. Now, there's a lot of factors that play into this. There's many things that are going to be layering into us, both from regulatory scenarios, the different kinds of projects they're going to be pumping this year, how AI is going to play. We're going to break it all down for you. Just as a reminder, if you're not in our or subscribed to the channel, make sure and do that right now because we do these live streams. We'll have the FOMC meeting, all that good stuff as well. But Bitcoin ETFs are suffering its historic loss. And if you look at this, the largest Bitcoin ETF, that's IBIT, 244 million down in net outflows. So that was last week, second consecutive weekly withdrawal. And then now they've experienced outflows in 8 of the last 10 weeks. So more and more moving into or out of some of these ETFs. And of course, we've seen some of the other ETFs that have started to really fly. And of course, that's been a combination of everything that's been out there, including Ethereum, Solana, XRP, et cetera. Some of the interesting trends to note right here. This is what BlackRock, Coinbase, and other market makers and market experts are claiming could happen this year, most of which I agree with. Adoption on stablecoin, this is a big one coming in from BlackRock. It's a risk of domestic currencies in emerging markets will decline. I think that's the one concern, which is kind of that Trojan horse. If you do see stablecoins really take off, some of these emerging markets could try to get into defense mode, meaning protecting their fiat. This is something I've been analyzing for a while. That's the only area which is where they could put a lot of parameters that kind of block stablecoins, like some countries have tried to block social media. That's a possibility with stablecoins. Coinbase says artificial intelligence, this will be the catalyst for an economic boom. We could see a lot happening around this. Their investment research. Remember, they're getting ready to have stocks on Coinbase as well, so this will play into stock trading within the Mag 7. And then you see a lot of assets gaining favor also at the margin for, again, alternatives to the dollar. And I think this is more around digital assets. This is JP Morgan talking about this, which is interesting to see. This, of course, is Andreessen Horowitz coming in with AI agents. This is another big factor we've talked about quite a bit here on the show. They're flying. I would agree with AI agents as well. Stablecoins overtaking ACH, 100% gonna happen, and this will change the way the banking infrastructure is set up. I think this is going to be one of the biggest narratives this year is regular businesses, regular people using stablecoins going forward. I want to go to a first clip here because this is Coinbase talking about how confident they are on what could happen when Congress comes back. Take a look.
So it's the kind of bill that, quite frankly, is more foundational for the growth of crypto or any real asset class. And so it should take a bit more time. That being said, I am very confident it will come through. And the reason I'm very confident is the rest of the world is moving forward. And I think what we saw in 2024 was this massive flight of talent, of people, of intellectual capital, and of technology growth outside of the US. And part of the rush to get Genius done was to stem that bleeding. And I think once we get back in session and everyone can take time to absorb what's happening, that same burning platform will appear where we really don't want the US to fall as behind as it's been on transformational technologies like artificial intelligence and blockchain. And so I'm very, very confident that once everyone gets a nice break from the holidays and can get back to work, that desire to ensure that the US maintains parity and hopefully dominance in these technologies will get around any confrontations or issues that people are having over the minutia of that market structure bill.
All right, so a lot happening, of course, over the last couple of weeks, from a political standpoint. And I think we are going to continue to see a little bit of pressure within politics in D.C. Two bills have to happen before clarity gets in place. So I haven't seen indicators yet, but I'm positively sure that, and I shouldn't say it that way, I'll say it this way, I'm optimistically skeptical as to whether or not this gets done in January. So I'm going to be watching closely. They've got a lot of work ahead of them. Now, some things that could shift the way investors play this market this year is really going to be on the demographic side of things. This was an interview that I did with Sandy Call, and we were talking about this from Franklin Templeton. Listen to this clip.
I think the Clarity Act, if it gets passed and when it gets passed, is going to really open up the digital channels even more, because right now, there's still prohibitions about distributing traditional investment products through these channels. Once you can start to get some traditional investment products into this wallet-based ecosystem, you start to diversify crypto profits that many of these younger investors have built up. Huge. Gives them even more ability to build wealth for the long term.
Yeah, so as you can see there, the topic is really that we are going to see a new cycle of investor. Now, could they show their head in 2026? Could they be coming into capital, or could they be making maybe their first major moves? That'll be the question I think that everybody's going to be asking. And remember, all these ETFs launching this week as we've continued to see Bitwise pouring more ETFs into the market. So that will be a factor to keep a close eye on for sure. This was interesting over the week. Hey, Grok, remove the worst crypto exchange from this image. And of course, you guys have probably been following it. It removed Coinbase. And then when you look at why, it said, based on our user reviews, reports from 2025-6, common criticisms, Coinbase, higher trading fees. So this was a problem that Coinbase is going to have to deal with if, in fact, all of this continues on, because there are some major market participants that are putting pressure on Coinbase right now, and one of them, of course, is going to be Robinhood. Robinhood did a lot during the holidays, including dropping a ton of gifts, and that is in reference to digital assets. They did sports car, luxury watch. There was quite a bit that actually dropped into your account. So let me know in the comments if any of you guys received any digital assets or any of these gifts coming in from Robinhood. I'm kind of curious, because Robinhood has really understood one thing, and that is the gamification of trading. And now, of course, they're creating the benefit around the gamification of blockchain and what most likely will be even tokenized stocks. There's just so much happening over there. And let's not forget prediction markets as well. The other thing that we have to kind of consider is the market structure and what it's going to unlock for stable coins, but also for brands. Take a look.
And the example I always give is Amazon. I say, if you wake up tomorrow and you're told, you can only transact on an Amazon-based token or stablecoin or some equivalent, and the friction associated with the transaction is 1 penny, meaning it costs $1 to get $1 of Amazon stablecoin. I asked people in the class, how many of you continue to use Amazon? And almost everyone raises their hand because it's super convenient company to use. And I'll say, what about 5 cents, 10 cents, 15 cents? And it's only at around 9 to 10 cents that people start to say, maybe I won't use Amazon. And so the point being is that companies that believe they have really, really strong brands and really captive ecosystems, think like Disney, Netflix, Amazon, are going to start to experiment with stablecoins. Genius unlocked stablecoins for banks. Genius plus market structure will unlock stablecoins for any company that believes it has a strong enough ecosystem to keep individuals on their economic platform via stablecoin.
All right, so I kind of disagree with that in the sense that, retail consumers would accept a conversion of, less. The 10% I get, I understand that, absolutely off the table, but 5%, even that is still too high. Remember, credit card fee merchants pay anywhere between 2 to 3%. They don't pass that along to you, but it is something that is a huge issue in the retail sector, and one that is so big that they are fighting tooth and nail, from legislation to trying to figure out how to use stablecoins, all sorts of things. I think 1%, 2% maybe max, and that would be only because it's convenient to use that as opposed to my bank. But I don't know. I got to see this happen in real world. Starbucks, McDonald's, one of the big brands using this and getting away with this, because I don't think if they get anywhere near Visa card fees that this is going to work. It should be a conversion, and the utility function should come on them being able to utilize that asset. That's different going forward. Now, you consider that because the thing that makes all this work is going to be clarity. And here, of course, you have, Queen Clarity right here, or non-clarity, Senator Lummis. And she's saying, too far long, unclear rules have pushed digital assets and companies offshore, blah, blah, blah. I'm so sick of these politicians saying this shit. The deal is, let's get it done. They were supposed to be done last year in the middle of the year. I don't know why this got stretched out, other than, the issue was Trump's token that maybe caused this bipartisan situation to arise. But this is a big issue that is going to loom heavy on the market, especially the blockchain market and crypto in general. Here, of course, is Besant saying this. Hey, don't worry. We're just setting the table. The feast will begin now. Okay, fine. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see this happen, Mr. Besant and the Trump administration. I hope so. With everything else that's coming out right now in terms of this global, I feel like, fraud that's been going on within the U.S. System, they're going to have to be doing something pretty significant, because this is a problem that is going to not go away. Not going to go away. The crystal ball for 2026 is all centered around Ethereum, and will it finally start going parabolic? A lot of positions right now with stablecoins, of course, on the move. ETH in comparison. If you look at all the good news with Ethereum, there has been so much to really look at. A couple of tweets here, actually. Here's the contracts deployed on ETH, reached an all-time high, okay? This is exploding right there, and this, of course, was after the Fusaka. Then you go over to this right here, ETH daily transactions hitting an all-time high. This is another big one. I mean, look at that chart right there. Why would you not see the core asset on any other asset out there, stocks, bonds, precious metal, anything that moves like that, and the core asset does not reach an all-time high, or at least start to show an uptrend for the year, because obviously in the last year, ETH has not been on an uptrend. All right, when you look at the biggest champion of Ethereum, you got Tom Lee right here. He's talking about his vote deadline, which is January 14th. I want you guys to remember that date, January 14th, 2026. This is when it happened. Many are asking why they want to increase their authorized shares from 50 million up to 50 billion. This is the main proposal. But the thing that I think plays into this is this right here. There's an outline here of 3 reasons, selective ATM, capital raises, future share splits, etc. The one I like is deals around mergers and acquisitions. That could mean that we could see a roll-up of these DATs, especially on ETH. And if you look at this chart right there, Tom could easily roll into being the #1 DAT globally, even above MicroStrategy, which would be significant for Ethereum in general. So there's a lot brewing around this, much bigger issue coming up in the mid-January than I think a lot of people realize. Other things I want to go to a clip here, because this is BNY Mellon talking about tokenization is the mega trend. Take a look.
Well, Carl, it's a really important trend. It's one of the mega trends. We identified a series of mega trends about a year ago, and we said we want to position our business, invest in those capabilities that will allow us to benefit from those mega trends. Because while we want to drive and are driving organic growth, we also want to make sure that we're attaching ourselves to these big market cycles, and digital assets is one of them. Now, we just launched a partnership with a new on-chain money market fund. So we've been investing around the ecosystem for using our traditional assets and then evolving our traditional business assets to be able to be on-chain as well.
Right.
This is a new technology. The US should be a leader in new technologies.
I love this. This is new technology. This is new. We have undiscovered or discovered new technology going into it. Some of these guys are crackerjacks, I think. Not to say, maybe that's, he's a great analyst, I'm sure. But let's talk about this update right here, and that is Jupiter Uniswap leading all DeFi platforms. I think this is one of the categories that will really excel this year, and it's probably going to come in a way of seeing a new kind of investor shifting over to DeFi, more and more institutional shifting to DeFi. Look at these markets, and plus you're going to see the potential of some of these things around what we will see in the ICO phase. Because remember, they're already talking about IPOs on Wall Street of all these crypto firms going live. Imagine what's going to happen in the DeFi space with ICOs, and especially with Uniswap now getting down to where there's literally no fees. This is going to be a big, huge opportunity for sure. Here, of course, is just an example right there. No trading fees right there, Uniswap. Now that we've got that mechanism in there, this is going to be the place. Hopefully you guys did your tax loss harvesting over on Uniswap, because you could have done it for literally no fees. Man, what a great deal. What a great deal. I love it. Hey, let's bring up a little bit of Solana on the ETH News website, which I think is so funny. Solana real world asset market hits 873 million, record high. You look at the chart right here, the growth right there is significant RBA. And I think this is just another factor that validates what we've been talking about for a very long time. But it really boils down to who is going to get into escape velocity with the RWA category. And I think that will be the major question. Can Solana catch ETH, or does ETH absolutely just eat the world overall? Remember, prediction markets are still on the move. In 2025, they took off. Look at those daily volumes right there. Absolutely unbelievable. And that's just on a variety of kind of unknowns if you think about it, because outside Kalshi and Polymarket, you've got Opinion, Myriad, and of course Limitless. I think this boils down to maybe two leaders. I think it's going to be Kalshi and Polymarket, but I do think you're going to see a lot more allocation of people who have not done prediction markets or understood them until now. So, and plus, remember, you got a big election coming up. Elections are when we got a chance to see Polymarket in real action. Last time, midterms. Watch for it to explode there. Other thing you got to look at is Bitcoin dominance, looking ready to dump. Will alts finally pump in 2026? I am not of the mindset that we will have this massive wave of altcoins getting liquidity. I am more of the mindset it's going to be a short, narrow group. Will all things grow? Maybe there's not enough fatigue in the market of people who have taken big profits in Bitcoin or Ethereum to be able to move into these other assets, because I'm not sure that we see retail coming in the way that they have in the past, because there's too much noise coming in from Wall Street, which is traditional finance, and how they particularly go about investing in alternatives, such as what we're seeing in the crypto market. So watch this. I think you're going to have some big winners in the altcoin sector, but it will be a handful in each of the areas of expertise, whether it's agents, whether we get into RWAs, things that we might see in real use in utility tokens. Follow the leads on these, because it's going to be close. We will be covering these pretty heavily this year, so make sure and stick around for all that good stuff. I've got a poll here I'm going to take live here with you guys. Do you think Bitcoin and crypto will finish this year? Bitcoin and crypto, because sometimes they try to trick me on these polls. Do you think Bitcoin and crypto will finish this year with a green yearly candle? I am going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. What do you guys think? Do you think I should go yes or no? I'm going to go with yes. Let's see what happens. 74% of you agree. I don't know if that's good or bad. If you agree with me, sometimes I like being on the other side of that trade. But hey, listen, that's a good thing, because I think we are going to see a new kind of market in 2026. Let's go to the market real quick. You can kind of take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin. holding on right now after we saw that little bit of the wash sale happening, I'm sure. If you think about that little dip right here at the end of December, that right there was probably some wash sale activity because we're starting to see the lip kick into Bitcoin. Almost hit 90K. I think it might have touched it there on the day. So pretty nice moves there. Ethereum, same kind of scenario, a little bit of that dip right there. People taking some profits or looking at a wash sale for those who were not in profits but could take those losses against other gains that you had. If you guys didn't catch our tax videos over the holiday, go back and watch those because it wasn't just about getting your tax loss harvest. It was really kind of setting you up for doing the right things for this year coming in 2026 because this may be the big year for you. So planning and being ready for all of that is important. Solana kind of the same way, not quite as much of a move, but definitely on the move. XRP, man, up like crazy on the day. And again, people look like maybe they did the same thing here with XRP because it has really rebounded off that 180. Now cracking, getting ready to go over $2 again. So defending that position pretty heavily. All right, so to wrap up there off the charts there, you can kind of see there's two major themes here. You've got, of course, stablecoins, AI. I think also the area around the type of investors that will come into it, because there's going to be a new dynamic this year, whether it's institutional, whether it is a next generation investors, all of that is going to be happening. So it's going to be interesting to watch for sure. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe, drop a comment down below, and also join our free private member group. The link is in the description.